Let's mix it up here. Everybody knows the number, 656-2255 here. We're not scared of controversy here at Star News. We want to hear you. We got two people up here with two opposing views. I believe in freedom of speech. I think we ought to be able to look at material that's controversial.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
I mean, you're
just because you have the freedom to do it, does that mean you should do it?
I mean, one of the things Johnny Robertson told me, that he believes that the Hustler publisher, Larry Flynn, ought to have the right to be able to publish what he publishes, because he's afraid of if they take that right away from him, that the same laws and so forth will be used to shut him up.
Certainly, and that's what I'm saying. Just because you can do it, does that mean you should do it?
Right, let me put this line on hold, and we'll go here first. You're on the air.
I want to tell the fellow there that you're talking to that most of the time when I see his church on the
TV
station, I just want to turn it off.
Okay.
But tonight he seems like he's human. He's not just judging everything that comes down the pike.
Well, thank you. But,
humanized you.
Yeah. Well, I will say, ma'am, just for clarification, there's no personal deal or whatever. I don't have a church, but I will say this in my defense, I guess, about our TV programs, whatever. We are in a pursuit of the truth. Mm-hmm. I mean, because.
But in a minority.
Do what?
But don't you think you're in the minority?
Well, I think Jesus said we're always going to be in the minority.
Yeah.
He said, "Few there be."
And that goes back to the films. You talk about the films. I mean, most of these films we're talking about, some of them are in the minority. But still, it's creative and people's right of expression. It doesn't always have to be the most popular film.
Well, and again, I'm not saying, Charles, that you don't have the right to express it or watch it or talk about it. But I'm saying, should you do it? Just because you have the freedom to do it, does that mean you have the right to do it? I mean, we understand that. You don't go into a crowded theater and yell fire. Mm-hmm. You have the right, you have the freedom to say that. Mm-hmm. But when your freedoms or when your rights start conflicting with someone else's rights, then we have to draw a line somewhere.
All right.
And I don't know, where would you draw that line?
You're on the air.
Yeah. See, I have a lot to say, actually.
All right, well, let's get to the point, because we got a lot of calls we're going to take and a little time to do it.
Well, a lot of judgment has been, like, a lot of movies have come out recently. More the media, all the movies have basically gotten worse and worse when it comes to pushing the line on gore and on sex and on stuff like that. And you see, for instance, now this guy is, the preacher's going around saying, this is, it has to do with homosexuality. You should stop this. Well, what I'm saying is, the media will only create something that people want to see. So somehow or another, these people decided, hey, this is going to be a good thing. People will want this, and people, obviously people have, because it's made a lot of money, albeit not number one, but it still is up there when it comes to.
So your question is what?
My question is, why is what's so wrong with homosexual movie?
What's so wrong with it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's the portrayal of something that is adverse to a society that is not shown. You don't see the other side of the homosexual lifestyle. I mean, these movies never show that.
They explore. This movie does. It explores the bad side.
No, it doesn't. It shows pain.
Maybe not every.
It shows pain, but I'm talking about, what about the serious health issues? I mean, what about the life expectancy being shortened by 25 to 30 years of the homosexual? Mm-hmm. That's serious, but no one ever talks about that. And so
you do.
Well, you're right. All right. So I'm one voice, but that's my point.
Yeah.
No, I mean, why don't we have movies about that? Which, by the way, speaking of that,
but let me say, if you went to make a movie about that, and then people wouldn't be able to get it, if you put your concept into that, people might not be able to see it because people would say, I don't want to see that film. It's about homosexual. I don't want to. I mean, in other words, that's the problem with not having an open mind to look at stuff.
Well, because I don't know how that would influence.
I mean, I would watch that movie. I'd like to watch a movie on how gay men don't live as long. Or
Okay, I'll tell you what. Well, I have one, Charles.
You do?
And I have permission from the publisher or from the producer, whatever.
Right.
It's a 30-minute movie. I've actually showed it on our show before.
Right.
And
Bring it on.
I have permission to give it to you, and you can run it on TV or in the movie theaters, whatever you want to do.
All right.
As
Yeah.
many times you want to.
All right, I will.
It's called It's Not Gay, and it's about a man who, a young man who, how he got started in the homosexual lifestyle, how he was, brought about into it, how he progressed into it, and eventually died from AIDS. And so,
We'll show it.
all right.
But that's back to the freedom of doing it because of freedom of expression and letting people see all the viewpoints.
I just have one more question.
All right.
How is this movie, how does a movie, and I mean, obviously there are some people who look at it in a different way, but mostly this movie it's not going to influence you to go out and be gay. I mean, it may make some people who are...
Yeah, do you think this movie makes people go out and be gay?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, that's what I think I said that to Jessica. Maybe I don't think this is the movie that's going to say, oh, I want to be gay. But it does create a persona, or it desensitizes people to say, oh, well, it must be acceptable because you start relating. Man, he's got pain, he's got suffering. His wife doesn't love him. And he's torn by his kids, and so you start feeling about this guy.
And
but
his
you don't,
wife
but you don't-
leaves and can't stand him.
All right. Well, because you realize it's a choice he's made, and so you start loving the man who is actually
No, I disagree with you there.
in the
I disagree with that. I don't think you don't love these characters because you kind of get mad at them. They're being stupid. They're being stupid, and they're not characters that you just automatically fall in love with. That's just not because you hadn't seen the movie, James.
Well,
you haven't seen the movie. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Charles?
All right, Eugene. Now don't make it last all night.
How you doing, James?
I'm doing good, Eugene.
James, you know I agree with you on many things, man. But like I said last night, just because you and I disagree on this, it don't mean we're still friends. But
All right, what do you disagree with him on?
protesting the movie. I understand where you're coming from, but protesting the movie, I think you're wrong.
Well, but I'll say
And
this.
I'll stick to that gun.
Well, I'd say this,
That's all I have to
Eugene.
say. Thank you very much.
All right.
I would like to know what Eugene has protested. He talks about false teachers and things like this, but we had a discussion. We were supposed to have a discussion right here on this sitting at this very table. That he wouldn't discuss on these issues, and I'm saying, which I've talked to Eugene, and this is not personal with him, but my point is, it's easy to disagree with someone who's making a stand, but I wonder about people who say that when I've never heard or seen them make a stand.
All right.
You know what I mean? So,
Hello.
Charles, I believe Pastor Oldfield's going to have to carry this load by itself. And I'll tell you why I say that.
All right.
Because everybody but the church group that they belong to is going to hell anyway, including Billy Graham. The homosexual that he's speaking against so much, the homosexual and heterosexual is going to the dogs anyway. And the reason I say that is because all sex is just as doggish as homosexuality when it comes to heterosexual.
So you're against oral sex too?
Hey, all sex, the female organ was made for the male organ. For the male organ.
Right.
This is family TV.
All right, James, I don't want to get too in depth with oral sex tonight. Hello.
Well, can I just respond to that?
Sure.
I mean, the thing about it is, I may be alone, but you know what? Jesus, I recall, was alone pretty much when he went through all his trials. I mean, everybody forsook him. So, and Paul said in 2 Timothy, he said, he said, at my first offense, no man stood with me. So I sure don't mind standing alone.
All right. Hello.
Charles?
Yes.
James? Let me make a statement here, and then I'll let James comment on it. It's kind of in a question form. Marriage in America is in trouble already. Over 50% of marriages fail. Out of wedlock, birth out of wedlock is running just wild. It's 50% in the white and 70% in the black.
But I don't see the religious community boycotting any of this stuff.
Okay, what I'm getting to is this. This is the breakdown of the family. The whole agenda behind this homosexual thing is they want community, and the agenda is for them to be able to perform as a family, as a man, marriage, in same-sex marriage. And this is what's behind the whole agenda. They want to be accepted. It's just a way of getting it over on the people. And if it goes on the way it's going, eventually on down the road in years to come, it will happen.
Well, BrokeBack Mountain does not even address that issue.
But it does show a breakdown of the family.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, I'm just saying this is what we're talking about. What he's
It
saying.
shows a breakdown. So to me, you ought to like what it's showing.
Well, but the thing is, Charles, here's the thing. It is showing a breakdown of the family. But my point is, it's showing the breakdown of the family as a result of perverted lifestyle. True. But again, I'm going back to I'm not going to promote a movie that in reality has a tendency even to make you feel sorry for someone who is living in a lifestyle that God would condemn.
Yeah.
Now, I agree with what he said about the breakdown of the family. That is general. And I'll respond to what you said about do we make public outcry about this? Well, the things about the premarital sex or children out of wedlock, things like that, those were issues that generations past have dropped the ball.
Yeah, but you beat the hypocrisy where you don't protest that.
Well, but I'm saying,
if you're equal across the board, then
But
I think
here's
you're more
the thing.
credible.
We have dealt with issues like children out of wedlock, things like that.
But y'all don't go break out movies that.
Well, but here's another thing too, Charles. I could be like the Phelps and spend all my time talking about one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, do you want me to spend all my time up here in front of Hollywood Hill
Well, I think
and watch every movie that comes out and say, all right, I don't want to be the person who has to tell the whole community, all right, this is the movie to watch, whatever not. I want to give them information about issues, and then when they see a movie like BrokeBack come out,
I'd like you to be more consistent about it if you're going to do that.
Well, I'll try to do that, Charles. But that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to draw a line at least somewhere where most people are not going to draw a line at all.
All right, last call before we take a break. Hello.
I just got a question. God might be against homosexuality, but ain't God against people judging people and people pointing their finger at people and stuff like that? Ain't God against that too?
You mean like me? People like me?
Yeah, like you sitting up there pointing their finger at people, talking about people. Ain't you seeing it right now? What you doing?
Well, what are
Talking
you?
about people pointing the finger?
Now, can I respond, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Now, what are you doing to me? Are you pointing your finger at me?
I'm asking a question.
Are you judging me?
I'm asking a question.
Well, I'm saying, are you talking about me? And you said yes. So are you?
I said people.
Are you? And I said, are you talking about people like
Okay,
me?
yeah, you can say I'm talking about you.
All right. So now, are you doing to me what you say I shouldn't be doing to other people?
Well, that don't make it right, though, do it?
So you're saying I shouldn't do what you are doing. Now, who's the hypocrite? Who's the hypocrite? Who's the hypocrite? You're saying I shouldn't be judging people.
You sitting up here talking about these people, and if you pointing the finger, you sinning too.
Just like you're doing. Just like you're doing. So get the beam out of your eye before you come get the speck out of mine.
If you watch y'all's show, you'll catch one of these every show. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.